plus gourmet meal options cooked by world-class chefs and delivered frozen, ready to eat within minutes and no commit. Welcome to the One Shop Gourmet Food Delivery, specializing in affordable options to eat right and feel great. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Every ingredient is handpicked to the highest standard. And why you should buy from homebistro.com? Restaurant quality, made with natural ingredients, delivered right to your door. Overnight shopping is available. Diabetic, paleo, heart health, and vegetarian options to eat. Doing business since 1999. Courteous, knowledgeable, and professional support. Complete PCI compliant SSL security ordering, and great meals. Choose from some of my favorite dishes: the Mediterranean chicken with orange honey sauce, the charbroiled chicken romesco, or the grilled chicken breast with sweet and spicy vegetables. No matter what you choose, you can't lose with homebistro.com. Eat great, feel good, and save some money with homebistro.com. Hit the link in the description section below for more information.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that, fam? What's up, fam? What's going on, man? Welcome to another installment of the Sports Coma. We in this thing. We up in here. Much love to the family members. Creeping at y'all a little late. But listen, man, nonetheless, we in the building. Big ups to the Great Saint Think Tank. Appreciate you guys for chiming in on this thing. We up in here. Much love to the family as we journey into another episode on this late Friday going into Tuesday. So big ups to the Great Saint Think Tank. And like we always start every show off, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, the host, chiming in on the Great Saint Think Tank. Big ups to the Black and Gold family, man. We up in this piece. So with that being said, let me hit that roll call right quick, chiming in. TSC Saints bring back QB Jameis Winston. 1-year deal. Of course, reworking the contract of Taysom Hill yesterday as Drew Brees announced his retirement. We are officially in the post-Drew Brees era as a battle now between Jameis and Taysom is official. It is official like a referee in the whistle. Let me tell you something here. Well, not an NFL referee anyway. Big ups to the fam, man. Thank y'all for chiming in on this edition. Jared Paul Jr., who that to you? What's up, fam? What's up, Latasha? Who that to you, baby? Jasper Bowden, what's up, Jasper? Who that to you? Nola Origin, what's up, fam? Who that to you as well? KB, who that to you? 985J in the building. What's up, 985? What's happening, brother? Sean C, what's up, Sean? Big ups to you. Jamal, who that to you? What's up, fam? Much love, fam. Big ups to you. Jasper says, what up, Q? I heard you going off today on the WDN chat, LOL. On the chat? On the who that chat? I don't know, bro. I mean, I would, on today on the chat? I mean, I don't know about that one, Jasper, unless you was listening to a rerun or something. Unless somebody was playing a recap or something. All right. Michael Sachs, what's up, fam? Much love to you, bro. Appreciate you being here as well. Joanne Lee, what's up, fam? Says, I'm excited to see how Winston progress under Sean Payton offensive schemes. Should see some stuff going on right there. Appreciate you. Dr. Key, what's up, Dr. Key? Who that GMQ? What's up, Dr. Key? How you doing? All right, Simply Tasha, what's up, Tasha? How you doing? Both Tashas in the building. What's up, family? Good to see the ladies in here. Ferg 318, who that to you? What's up, Anthony? Who that to you as well? Much love. Big ups to you. They said about friggin' time. All right. All right, Anthony, we in the building, bro. He says, even on the West Coast time. I hear you, brother. I hear you. You know, today was a crazy day, but, you know, we coming at you nonetheless, so it's all right, bro. DeAndre, what's up? He says, talk about the Pats. The Pats, why? Why? The Pats doing some stuff. I seen them making some moves. I see what the Patriots doing. They making some moves. We'll see how it all shakes. All right. All right. I said, okay. All right. Jared Latrell, what's up, fam? Okay. Big ups, J-Rock, Ghostface Griller, Brian Pearson, all of y'all, man. Big Sean, what's up, fam? Much love to you as well. DLP, what's up, fam? KK504 and 404 lady, who that to you as well. And Seth Griffin is big ups to you as well. Darius Sampy, who that to you. Pelicans Nola, the whole fam. Big ups to you. Much love and a salute to the great Saint Think Tank. I appreciate y'all being up in this piece. What's up, Ramsey? Big ups to you as well. Much love to the family members in the building. What's up, Teal? My dog Teal in the building as well. Much love to my dog Teal chiming in the building as well. So with that being said, man, much love to the great Saint Think Tank and the family. What's up, Darrell? Big ups to you as well. Late pillow talk. I hear you. I hear you. Ja, what's up, Ja? Ja Williams as well. Much love to all y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Randy, what's up, fam? Good to see Randy in the building as well. Who that, Randy? Now, family, this is the thing, man. We get Jameis back. I'm going to go over that right quick, you know, along with that. And I'm not going to hold you guys for too long today, you know, on this show. I'm not going to hold you too long. We're going to go over a few things here, and then we're going to bounce and shake and do some other stuff. But I'm going to cover the Jameis Winston stuff. I'm going to go over him. Also, the fact that the Saints did re-up on James Hurst. What does that mean to Terron Armstead? That's another thing. You know, what does that mean to Terron Armstead, if anything? We'll discuss that on the show as well. And we just got to keep doing what we're doing. The Saints, and what's up, Daron? Who that to you, Daron? Big ups to you. What's up, Josh? What's up, K. John? What's up, fam? Big ups to you. Thank y'all for being here. Please hit the pawn. All right. I got you. 985 Live. Who that to you, baby? All right. So, in 985 Live and 985J in the building. What's up, 985 Live? Much love, fam. Good to see you out there. Please hit upon the like button, family. If you're not a subscriber, hit upon the subscribe button as we move this thing along. So, the big news of the day is Jameis. Jameis makes it official. We'll go over the particulars. What's up, True Hurts? Who that to you as well? Big ups to the family. Like I said, I'm not going to hold y'all for a long time today, fam. I'm just going to go over a few news notes tonight, or maybe a little bit over an hour, and then we'll go. Brian said you can keep as long as you want. All right, Brian, there it is. All right, Tasha said now we $22 million over the cap. Again, at least one. I think we'll see what it shakes, because it's most concerning. See, the Saints have until the 17th to get themselves underneath there. What's up, Kenny? Kenny Sutton, who that tell you? We're going to look at it, man. I'm going to journey and look at it, because it's very unusual to see how it all shaking. Now, despite the fact that the Saints did bring Winston in, we're going to break down the particulars of the contract. We're going to go over the numbers ourselves and see exactly where we shake. But there are moves that still need to be made. The extensions of Marshawn Lattimore and Ryan Ramczyk still must be done. That must be done, and that will be done before the 17th. I assure you guys. I don't know why it hasn't been done already, but those extensions need to be completed for this all to work. Or perhaps the Saints looking at moving a piece like Terron Armstead. It's interesting to see them making the moves with Hurst. But Armstead's the question. He has another year left, not this year, but his contract is up in 2022. What are the Saints going to do with Armstead? You know, if you think about it, you got Morstead You got Drew Brees retiring. You got all this other stuff going on. And it's basically what it is, fam. It's pretty much what I'm saying. We're going to have to all figure this out here. So with that being said, hold on here, fam. All right, with that being said, we're going to jump right into it. I don't know why is it doing that, throwing up those old super chats right there, family. So I don't know what that's all about. I think it's a flaw in the thing. So y'all just ignore that. All right, so yeah, DLP says it's a depth chart move. We'll look at it, man. But see, most certainly, the Saints need to do something with Armstead and the extensions of Laddie Daddy and Ramczyk, and I say they'll do that by the 17th. Also, Latavius Murray is up on the chopping block as well. Patrick Robinson should be the dude. I don't know what the hell they're waiting on with Patrick Robinson. Get his ass off the team exponentially right now as soon as possible. Put him in the box and ship him up out of here. That's what I'm talking about. Get him on up out of here. How you cutting all these people? And Patrick Robinson, sorry, hamstring ass, keep getting in the way. I mean, you can get up to over $2 million just by releasing Patrick Robinson. He should have been the first one to get up out of here. I mean, I ain't going to get up into it, but man, it's ridiculous, man. We're going to cut the jackrabbit before we cut a sorry-ass bastard like Patrick. I mean, I ain't going to get it. Just strike that from the conversation. Strike that last comment from the record, from the court's record there. All right, big ups to you, Marquise. Who that to you? Marquise Thibodeau, big ups to you. Who that to you? Good to see you in the chat, fam. Much love. Welcome to the Great Saint Think Tank. Realists in the building. So with that being said, please feel free to strike upon the like button. Subscribe if you aren't a subscriber as we get ready to delve into Jameis getting his little grind on with the content. So with that being said, we're gonna get into it. Big ups to the fam. Brian says Drew Brees should have had a retirement contract that would have meant that he can't what he says that wouldn't mean he can't return back to the NFL. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be upset about him if he did come back to the NFL to try to play. I think the future is now for the Saints. Jerome says, Q, did Hurst play guard last year too? No, but he can. Well, let me see. He played. He didn't need to play guard that much. If I'm scantily remembering, I can remember maybe a little bit that he played, a little bit of guard he played, but mostly tackle because Nick Easton was playing the guard position for a lot, and then Ruiz was in there as well. So I think maybe a little bit he played, but he played the guard position in previous stops before he got to the Saints. That's one of the things that made him a little bit more versatile, is the fact that he can play the tackle and guard position. And he signed a really cheap deal with the Saints last year. It paid off. But as far as like a tackler goes, tackle like a pass blocking tackle, my goodness, he's so slow you need to put him in a hearse. He's so damn slow, it's like he moving backwards. So I mean, when he run blocking, he's effective, but pass blocking, oh my goodness. All right, but with that being said, man, let's get on up into it. Jameis Winston, that's right, Saints bring back QB Jameis Winston on one-year deal worth up to $12 million, according to sources. This is from ESPN. Mike Triplett breaking it down. Jameis Winston now has the opportunity to become Drew Brees' successor with the Saints. Just one day after Brees announced his retirement, Winston and the Saints reached an agreement on a one-year deal worth up to $12 million, according to Adam Schefter. Now, the former number one overall NFL draft pick and Heisman Trophy winner spent his first 5 seasons as a starter with the Bucs before signing a one-year deal in New Orleans last summer to try to revive his career as the Saints' backup. Although Winston played sparingly, the Saints were impressed enough to bring him back to compete with Taysom Hill for the starting job this year. Now, this is Jameis' tweet straight from there. He says, who dat? Hashtag NOLA, hashtag Dream Forever. Winston tweeted Monday evening. So with that being said, he most certainly is following the footsteps of Teddy Bridgewater, isn't he? The exact same model. Teddy was here, and then ultimately, the second year he had an opportunity to play in Drew Brees' situation when Drew was out, and he did pretty well. He held the ball a little longer than what you would want, but he did well. So, and now Jameis is doing the same thing. Jameis played sparingly last year, and he has a real solid opportunity to go up against Taysom for this job. But understand this, that if you have to put him in terms of rank 1 and rank 2 or A and B in terms of depth chart, Taysom is the starting quarterback right now on Sean Payton's depth chart. But can Jameis Winston unseat him? Most certainly he could. Now, sources told ESPN's Jeremy Fowler that the Bears were serious suitors for Winston Monday's free agency process. We talked about that before he picked the Saints. The Saints will have to carve out a bit more salary space before the start of the league's year on Wednesday. They begin the offseason nearly $100 million over the cap, but have whittled the figure down to around 10 by the start of the week. Winston, who turned 27 in January, went 28-42 as a starter with the Bucs, completing 61.3% of his passes for 19,737 yards, 121 touchdowns with 88 interceptions. He displayed some dynamic highs and lows during his tenure, especially in 2019. That year, he led the league with 5,109 passing yards, but also became the first quarterback in NFL history to throw at least 30 touchdown passes and 30 interceptions in the same season. Turnovers have been Winston's biggest hurdle, with a league-high total of 111 from 2015 to 2019. When the Bucs elected to move on to Tom Brady, Winston decided to try to revive his career in New Orleans. He signed a one-year deal worth $1.1 million plus incentives because he said he wanted to get a Harvard education in quarterback school under Coach Payton and Brees, which he did. Now, Winston didn't get much on-field experience in New Orleans behind Brees and Hill, but Winston did make his best play of the season when he completed that 56-yard touchdown pass on the trick play and the Saints' playoff loss to his former team. Now, Winston 7 of 11 for 75 yards in the regular season with no touchdowns or turnovers. Payton made it clear that the season that the Saints wanted to resign Winston and let him compete with Hill for the starting job following Brees' retirement. Winston was suspended for the first 3 games of the 2018 season after 8-month investigation concluded he engaged in detrimental conduct in 2016 by touching. We all know about the female Uber driver and that stuff like that, which is back in the past. He paid for that and simply moves on. So the deal is a one-year deal up to $12 million. But some people said the other reports that I've seen have it whittled around about $5 million annually. But we'll go over the numbers and check that in this show. So there you go. 1-year deal up to $12 million with the incentives. Just the 1 year. Now, Taysom had that extension as well, with all those voidable years, which you could basically break down as a 1-year deal as well. So here we go. 1-year deal on both these quarterbacks. That's not much stability from the quarterback position. We might be back here again next year, right? You know, I would like to have seen multi-years tapped into that, but, you know, this is where they're moving. I don't get it. There's no this 1 year stuff, you know. Now, this is the next article here from Saints Wire, details on James Hurst Saints contract extension. And add more important is James Hurst, former Baltimore Raven offensive lineman, signed with the Saints last year, signed an extension here to be with the black and gold. And let's take a look at it. So it's interesting. First reported, Nick Hunter reported that the Saints contract extension with offensive lineman James Hurst was a 3-year deal, confirmed that the new agreement will pay $9 million, including $5 million in guarantees. What's intriguing is that Fowler adds that the contract carries incentives that raise the maximum value to 13.5 should Hurst become a starter. That's most interesting because that, you know, that's an interesting incentive to have in that contract. What could that possibly mean? Could that be something at Armstead? Well, let's look at it. Hurst has been he played both left tackle, right tackle, and left guard during his NFL career, starting full seasons at the latter 2 spots during his Baltimore Ravens tenure. He mainly filled in at left tackle in New Orleans last season. Though he totaled 402 snaps with the Saints offense overall, his return adds some confidence to the offensive line, considering neither left tackle Teron Armstead nor right tackle Ryan Ramczyk are signed beyond the 2021 season. If either player leaves, Hurst is an experienced candidate to replace them in the starting lineup, which is reflected in his new contract. Now, of course, the Saints would like to keep Armstead and Ramczyk in the fold, but between Armstead's age and injury issues and depressed salary cap, it's possible they try to move him in a trade or let him walk in free agency in 2022 while investing in his younger teammate. Starting Ramczyk at one side, Hurst at the other isn't the worst succession plan if the team, like tackle-needy Kansas City Chiefs, comes calling with a good trade offer. Well, the Saints can't really afford to ignore them. So here's hoping New Orleans finds a way to make the money work out, retaining both the elite bookends, allowing Hurst to continue to help out in a backup role. But let's not refuse to accept other possibilities could be in the works now as these contract details are working themselves out. So it's really interesting to see exactly how this will all shape, to be honest with you, because man, it's very interesting because you bring Hurst in the fold. And I've been saying about the Terron Armstead contract is the next up, besides the extensions of both Ramczyk and Lattimore, and of course the releasings of Latavius Murray and Patrick Robinson. So, I mean, with that being said, most interesting. All right, other news. Let's keep it going. Did you know that Trey Hendrickson is now signed with the Cincinnati Bengals? Who that to you, John? What's up, Cameron? Who that to you? Joseph, what's up, Joseph? Darrell, who that to you as well? Much love. And, of course, former Saints defensive end Trey Hendrickson signing with the Bengals. 4 years, $60 million for Trey Hendrickson. Finds a home with the Cincinnati Bengals. How about that? Now, the Bengals are signing Hendrickson to a 4-year, $60 million contract with $32 million across the first 2 seasons. That's amazing. Hendrickson deal was, one of a myriad on Monday involving top-flight pass rushers earning big dollars, including former Bengals edge rusher Carl Lawson, who agreed to terms with the Jets, who got a bunch of money, as well as them looking at Mike Hilton from the Steelers, who would be a good cornerback I threw out there. Also, Mike Davis is another guy from the Chargers you might want to look at if you're a guy looking for it. But a lot of some of these top-notch defensive linemen or edge rushers are coming off the board. And then you had people like Hendrickson, Lawson signings, and Shaq Barrett got one. You seeing Matt Judon in New England, he got it. Bud Dupree in Tennessee, Yannick Ngakoue in the Raiders. So you can see off top what a lot of the emphasis is on in the first day of the signing period is to try to get a pass rusher, because they know you got to get pressure on the quarterback to be successful in this league. And that's what the Bengals have done. So T-Rex Trey Hendrickson is officially going to the Cincinnati Bengals. 4 years, $60 million. No way we would have been able to retain him. Now, ultimately, let's move on here to the Sport Track side, the New Orleans Saints 21 salary cap situation. Right now, as it currently stands, according to Sport Track, let's see, there's estimated figures on the top 51 salary stand as minus 4.6 currently. Now, remember, we still are dealing with the reworkings that need to happen with Terron Armstead. As you can see right here, you got the base salary of 10.1, the roster bonus of 1.4, and all this kind of stuff. And you got the $16.2 million cap hit. So with that being said, what are the Saints going to do about Terron Armstead? Are they going to leave him there? What's going on with that? You got 2 years left. This could be a situation where the Saints could be looking to trade Terron Armstead. I hate to put it like that, but I've once said, and I've kept saying over the last couple of years, that if Drew Brees leaves, Terron Armstead will more than likely end up going with him, not into retirement, but perhaps to another team. The Saints have to be able to get themselves in a viable situation. It makes sense for you to trade him this year. I mean, he's and I love Terron, but he's hurt every year, and if you trade him now, you'll get more for him this year than what you would get for him next year. And plus, you need his money freed up so that you can get underneath, because you got to make moves of your own. The Saints pretty much are just retaining some of their own talent. They've yet to kind of reach out and bring somebody new on the team in terms of that's on the market. They're not going to be a player in that until they can get some of this money out the way. So Terron Armstead could be a possible person that you look at moving to another team, or who knows, they might release him. We don't know. But desperate clubs do desperate things at times. But Ryan Ramczyk, most certainly, him and Laddie Daddy, these guys need to be reworked. Both of them count at $21 million against the cap. That needs to be restructured. That'll free up at least $15 million, which will catapult the Saints to north of $12 million, so they'll look a little bit better. So hopefully those deals more than likely will be announced between now and before the 17th, when that expiration period hits, which I think is 4 o'clock Eastern time, I want to say, on March the 17th. But they're going down to the wire, baby. They're going down to the wire with this stuff, and that goes to show you that, the kicking of the can crap, we need to pause a lot of that, because this is ridiculous what we had to do, coming down all that money. We know it's the C-19 stuff, But still in all, that's indicative of all of the stuff that we've been doing over the years. We got to cut bait and run. Let's build it the right way so we don't have to ever be here again. And with the C19 world we living in, this could be a yearly thing. We don't know. So with that being said, more work needs to be done. But according to Sport Track right now, they're saying that 4.6 is where the Saints are at, which is if they restructure or extend out the contract or the agreements of the two other guys, that more than likely will probably end up helping the team out exponentially. So with that being said, fam, we'll go over the news once again. Is Jameis Winston. Saints bring back QB Jameis Winston on a 1-year deal up to $12 million. We know the annual money floats around, I think it's $5 million annually. And of course, you got James Hurst contract, who the Saints signed as a valuable blocking. But that, like I was telling people about this caveat here, about the money jumping from Hurst as he moves from a backup role to more of a starting role, then it'll be reflected in his pay. And Hurst was somebody you ain't have to sign right there. But it's interesting that they chose to sign him where they did, because could this be a prelude to Teron Armstead possibly in being traded or released? I'm just asking the question because I know it's coming. I know it's coming, whether it's this year or next. It is most certainly coming. So we'll just have to monitor that and just keep it going, man. But it's very strange, man. But the Saints got Jameis Winston back. Jameis and Taysom competes at the quarterback position. So that answers some questions, doesn't it, family? That answers some questions at the QB position. We got Jameis and Taysom going to compete. We also have the rest of our role players there as well. So with that being said, it'll be an interesting mixture of talent there to go along with it. Now, just depending on what we do in free agency, and I'm not really counting on us to do a lot in free agency. We'll see. But also, what we do in the draft will be very important. We got to hit on some really smart moves right here moving forward with this team. So with that being said, man, we covered these news notes. Trey Henderson, congratulations to Trey Henderson. Man, he banked it. He got his $60 million, and $32 million of it is guaranteed of the $60 million off of 1 year, the 13.5. The sacks got him 4 years, $60 million. You won't talk about going to the casino and gambling. My goodness. It's amazing. And of course, we talk about Mickey Loomis. I want to throw this little one up in here. Look at my dog, Mickey Loomis. Big ups to Mickey. He a diehard member of the Great Saint Think Tank. Mickey pops in every now and again on the show and shows love. He breaks down stuff and tell the joke or two. So much love to Mickey Loomis. And in this one, you can see Mickey was saying, I'm not sad about the retirement. I'm grateful that it was 15 years. # Saints GM Mickey Loomis reflects on Drew Brees' career. He spoke about that and other things. He says, what the New Orleans Saints are planning for free agency, according to General Manager Mickey Loomis, a lot of housekeeping and internal extensions. Loomis discussed the team's offseason strategy during a Monday appearance on Sirius XM NFL Radio. He's pointing to the depressed salary cap and their long listing of pending free agents as challenges to consider before the Saints can start scouting the open market. We're not going to be a significant player in this free agency. That's what Mickey said now. So, let me kind of outline that. Mickey letting you know off top. He says we're not going to be a significant player in this free agency. Loomis said we're going to be focused on keeping our own team together and get some guys extended that have been with us. The Saints are estimated to be around $4 million over the cap, so they have more cutting moves to make. Extensions for key players with high cap hits would accomplish the goals of keeping their core together while open up more room for handling of the contract. Loomis did decline to discuss the specific situations, but obvious targets for the new deal would include left tackle Teron Armstead's $6.2 million cap hit, highest on the team. Right tackle Ryan Ramczyk's $11 million, and cornerback Laddie Daddis $10.2, as well as the franchise tag for free safety Marcus Williams, which should never have been. 10.6 is there. And of course, you can only cut a smaller pie into many pieces before someone is left hungry. That's going to cost the Saints some of their pending free agents. While Loomis admitted it is a challenge in itself, in all likelihood, we're going to lose some players that were on our team last year. We understand that. It is not a rebuild year. It's not a rebuild for us. it may be what I call a retool. Didn't I say that before this man said that? Didn't I tell y'all that? People are, and we talked about this. Who was that up in there we was having a discussion with? Who was that? We was talking about this the other day, man. And these words weren't not being used by the Saints organization. But I kept telling people that, listen, they're going to stay away from the rebuild moniker and they're going to say retool. This is just what this man just said. We understand it. It's not a rebuild fund. It's going to be what I call a retool. So, I mean, with that being said, that makes everybody feel better because nobody wants to hear that their team is rebuilding, even though that's clearly what it is. I mean, you had to come down almost $100 million in salary, you know, and then right now you're still $4 million in the hole, in the red, you know, according to, using accountant, verbiage. But the reality is, it is that it is what it is. You can call it retool all you want. If you go to the casino, you ain't going there for gaming. You're going there to gamble. But it's just mind games, man. Words, one way or the other is the same thing. That echoes comments from Coach Payton made in Sirius XM interview before the Super Bowl, in which he forecasted the 2021 offseason as looking like a reboot rather than, see, it's all the words that you don't want to hear. See, it's a reboot. It's a retool. It's just not a rebuild. What's next? What else he gonna say next? Is a reset? Reset is coming next. Just prepare yourself now. We're just resetting the roster. Oh, okay, I got you. I hear you, Coach Payton. I got you, buddy. All right. Leadership void is opening on a roster that veterans like DeMario Davis, Cam Jordan, Malcolm Jenkins must step up the field, and they will. So don't expect any blockbuster moves from New Orleans as the opening of free agency. These comments from Mickey suggest a more patient approach, waiting for the first wave or two to wash across the NFL before the Saints begin pursuing pursuing the market with so many talented veterans in the league's middle class getting released to salary cap cuts. They could find some players at affordable rates, but it's also more important than ever to hit on the draft picks and acquire fresh legs. Things are rarely quiet on the Saints beat. So, I mean, you don't expect things to be as hot and bothered, in so far as when you talk about the Saints and the moves that they make when you're $100 million over the cap. First of all, you spend days reworking contracts, everybody contract that's worth anything inside the top 51. You cut several veterans just to get to a point where you're within a contract or two. Just one contract should get them done, whether that's with Teron Armstead or the reworking of either Lattimore or Ramcheks, or the extension of those guys would propel the Saints to probably somewhere around north of $12 million in cap, depending on what they do with Latavius. That's another additional, $3 million or so. And Patrick Robinson is another $2 million. So with that being said, the Saints can cut it down to bare bones. But the good news is there are a lot of players, and he talking about the first layer. Of course not, because you don't even have money to even attack those guys in the first layer of free agency right now. But the second layer and perhaps the third layer of free agency, the Saints will find some valuable people, because the market right now is saturated with second and third level talent. It really is, because a lot of teams had to put veterans in the streets similar to what the Saints did. So you have a bit of a saturation going on with the NFL market right now, and the Saints are absolutely right. And Mickey Loomis is absolutely right, where they can find some really good, solid veterans available in that second or third layer of free agency. And ultimately, the draft is going to be important just as well as the undrafted aspect of that draft to the college free agents who are undrafted. So Mickey is telling the truth, and Coach Payton is also dropping it and letting you all know what time it is. So with that being said, man, all I can say in the end is, Mickey, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right, Mickey? Mickey, can I just get a yes or no, bro? What's all of this stuff, man? Why can't I just get a straight up answer from you, Mickey? Are we going to be all right here, Mickey? Yeah, I think so. All right, thank you, Mickey. All right, that's enough. All right, so with that being said, That's the news. Jameis back for 1 year. We had the Mickey Loomis discussion, Trey Hendrickson, and of course we talked about where we are from an economic standpoint. As I always do, I always bring it back to the numbers as opposed to just read. Let me just show you. Let's just show you 4.6 currently right now. And you got to look at it too. Let's go and do our little tool move right quick, because we do this every time we get a new salary deal or something like that going on. So with that being said, let's take a look at it, man. Let's take a look at this. All right. So as they're estimating here, they say it was at 4, but it jumped to 7, which is it's no biggie. So what we'll do is pretty much let's see. I'm not gonna touch Terron Armstead because that's something, but let's look at Ryan Ramczyk and Marshawn Lattimore. Let's just use those guys, right? Matter of fact, let's go a little further down here. Let's say the Saints release Latavius Murray because they couldn't trade him, just like they did Malcolm Brown and Emmanuel Sanders, right? They try to trade him, no trade for him. Look, we're going to release him. So the Saints get 2.4, over 2.4 back. What that does is it brings the cap down here. Now, of course, the number was a little high earlier. Remember, it was 4 point something or other. On this side of it, they're saying it's 7. But let's just pretend it's 4. So you drop it down. That's half the 4 there. And, of course, Patrick Robinson, who I say we need to get rid of, that's 2.6 there. That puts you over the cap by $1 million or so. And then that's without getting ready to touch the contracts or the extensions of Lattimore, like Starvin Ramczyk. Let's say the Saints signed Ramczyk to a 4-year deal, a 4-year contract. Well, the initial year of that deal, I think Mickey will have it set at $1 million, or perhaps I say he does $1 million when he issues that extension. Well, that frees up $10 million on the cap right there. Let's say he does the same thing with Lattimore. Well, that frees up some more money, and look where you're at there. So, I mean, like I said, the extensions of both Ramczyk and Lattimore will be big for the Saints because it could free up north of $12 million between it. Now, both of them counting at 21, but if their salaries or their base salaries for 2021 is $1 million or less, the Saints could very rarely put open at least $18 million in cap space between those agreements. And of course, you see, I did chop off Latavius' 4.4, and of course, 2.6 from Patrick Robinson for additionally another 5, which catapults me up there north of $12 million. So the Saints could do this and free up in that cap, and then still go out and get some pretty slick people to come in and be on the team in terms of corner. Because listen, the secondary needs help there, especially at the cornerback position. We need help right there. And I hate to say this, but I can see the Saints being cheap and reaching back to Patrick Robinson and doing that type of stuff. I can see them doing that because they could say, well, we didn't have the money to go out and get nobody, so we had to pay Patrick Robinson $2 million to come back. So they did it last year. They did it the year before that. Patrick Robinson is going to be around again. I just hate to say that, but I'm just going to tell you that because it's shaping up that way. Don't be surprised if you see not Patrick Robinson. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints kept Patrick Robinson on the roster and brought back P.J. Williams. P.J. Williams is who I mean. Don't be surprised if you see P.J. Williams and Patrick Robinson back on this team again next year because they said, well, we didn't have the cap to go after nobody. So we had to sign a cheap-ass P.J. Williams and what have you. You see what I'm saying? So don't be surprised, man. You're supposed to put Patrick Robinson in the street before you put anybody in the street. How, he played 1 or 2 games good. The rest of the games he missed due to various injuries, repeating hamstring issues. He's old. It was a bad decision to bring him back here. And we need to rectify that situation and find somebody more competent than him that we can get out there for $2 or $3 million a season. You can't tell me you can't find somebody better than Patrick Robinson or P.J. Williams, for God's sake. But I wouldn't be surprised, man, because that's what kind of shit these people do. They'll bring back these silver can, trash can ass cornerbacks who just are incomplete and out there getting turned around on the rotisserie stick. So I'm just gonna tell you that it could be something that they do. But the biggest question mark of this whole thing is what the hell do they do with Terron Armstead? That's the major component here, is what do they do with Terron Armstead? He got that big hit, on him, that 5-year deal, $65 million. As you can see, he got this year here, he's saying 20. Previous contracts got him set here for money stretched out for 2022 and 2023. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what they do with Teron Armstead. That's the major component, the next major shoe outside the extensions of the guys that I mentioned before. So with that being said, bounce back to the regular screen, man, and it is what it is on that front. You know what I'm saying? They got over 100 of us in there, deep up in here. We deep up in here, and we definitely we got it popping in here. So big ups. We got it popping up in here. That's big ups to the family members in here. Please hit upon the like button and subscribe if you're on a subscriber. Much love to the family members. I appreciate y'all, man, being here. What's up, Alondro? Alondro says if Peyton don't pull it off this year, we're going to see a new coach. All right, I got you, bro. I got you. All right, let's see who else we got. So that's what I'm talking about, family. So very interesting news, notes, and items on this show as well. Jasper says Q, he can go work at the Bank of America as a marketing executive. He's a pretty smart dude, man. He probably could, man. But Teron, man, I know if you're going to make a move on Teron Armstead, you're more than likely probably going to have to do it this year. I think it'd be probably better if you do it this year than if you had to wait. You know what I'm saying? That probably would be the best bet there. J-Rock, what's up, says Loomis is the GM equivalent to MacGyver. Man, hopefully when we get out the hole, man, Mickey, please don't do that no more. Please don't do that, because that's really time consuming to explain all that nonsense. You putting all that stuff into it. Getting the hole's easy, but getting out of it, that's a whole nother thing. Don't you know? Don't you know? It's incredibly easy to get in debt, but really hard to get out. Isn't that amazing how that works? If you're going easy, you got to go out easy, right? No, not the same, not even close. So with that being said, fam, I'm gonna take a few questions or comments in the section before we go, and we'll fill out for the next 19 minutes or so before we close out the stream. Like I said, I'm not gonna hold you guys for very long. I'm gonna cut you loose. I know a lot of people have to go to work, and we're gonna see about that. What's up, Young Sizzle? Big ups to you. You say ATL gang. All right, ATL in the building. There we go. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna read a few comments. Tyrese says, I know, but he don't gotta worry about being double teamed because we got Cam Jordan. All right. Trail, what's up, Trail? Big ups to you. Alan, what's up, Alan? Stadnick says, tight end, who you think will we sign? That's a good question, bro. I mean, you look at the tight end free agent market, man. I don't know where the Saints go in terms of those, man. I mean, some of the better tight ends that you will want. That's why I was saying, I didn't want to cut loose a guy like Josh Hill. I mean, why you even put Josh Hill in the street? It always goes back to Patrick Robinson, sorry ass. I mean, why would you put Josh Hill in the street and keep Patrick Robinson? None of this makes any sense. None of it makes it. Did you just put all the names in a drum and then turn the wheel and like it's a lottery and then close your eyes and then pick which one you want? You know what I'm saying? Was that what happened? I mean, it's just ridiculous. But Josh Hill should have been kept. Patrick Robinson should have been up out of here. But there are options out there. I mean, Jesse James was somebody that people try to put with the Saints the last cycle of free agency. He's interesting. Tyler Elford is out there. Virgil Green is out there. Let me see if I can pull up the list. Let me see. Let me get this pulled up here. Some of the free. I mean, you could pick your guys, but there's some interesting second and third level tight ends that you want to, if you were interested in bringing them here. I got a list of them that I got up here. I think Hunter Henry might be out of the question. Kyle Rudolph, he might be out. You damn sure don't want Jared Cook back. But Jesse James is a guy that was connected to us before. Tyler Eifert was another guy that was connected to us before. Do the Saints make a move there? Virgil Green, the former Charger, he could be somebody. I always like Virgil Green. I think he would be an excellent addition to the Saints. Do they go veteran-wise? Mercedes Lewis, there Gerald Everett, he's out there. I don't know if the Saints look at him. Jordan Reed, who had some injury issues with the Redskins, played okay for the 49ers this past year. It's Trey Burton's out there. He got that big fat contract after the Eagles, but he sizzled out with the Bears, and he's back to his floor in terms of where he should be. So there's some interesting options out there for the Saints, depending on where they want to go. You know, so and of course, if Sean Payton might be looking at Dan Arnold. You know, how about Dan Arnold to come back? So I mean, there are some options at tight end out there. I wasn't a fan of giving up Josh Hill, but we definitely have to fix that. Thanks for the question there, Alan. Much love. Who that? All right. Who else we got? John, what's up, fam? What's up, Kim? Kim Phillips says, Q doing the Mickey voice takes me. Mickey sometimes be sounding like, you know, you go to the barber shop and you get a shave and you know how to shave, touch you on, and you make your line go like that. That's how Mickey sounds sometimes. But yeah, man, but most interesting to see how that shakes. Okay, let's keep going. Kenneth says he definitely wanted to get paid last year. Tyree said, y'all think Malcolm Butler would be a good number 2? He is a free agent. We know Lattimore is number 1 cornerback. Same issue now, you know, looking at the second tier level of the chart, and I'm gonna call out a few names here, but you know, you've already had some guys that already resigned so far. You have Verrett, Jason Verrett. He signed back with the 49ers. Tremont Smith signed back. He got where he went to the Houston team. So Cameron Sutton re-signed. Mike Davis re-signed to a 3. Damn it. That's who I wanted. The Chargers said, nah, they made Mike Davis a 3-year contract. Denver signed Ronald Darby. He was a former Eagle guy. But Pat Peterson is going to probably be priced out of your range. AJ Abuyaye is probably going to be. Malcolm Butler is going to be looking for some pay. Casey Hayward's a more experienced guy, very good. Injuries had the issue with him. We'll see. There's Richard Sherman. I'm not excited about that name. But Richard Sherman, there's the connection with him and Coach Richard Down, who's the secondary coach. Who knows about that? You know, you got guys like Justin Coleman, who the Lions put in the street. Janoris is still there. I'm still a fan of the Saints re-signing Janoris on a marketing deal. They released him to free up the market, but it's not beyond the realm of possibility that Janoris Jenkins could be somebody the Saints revisit in free agency. And simply this could be a stratagem in which the Saints are using the market to dictate Janoris Jenkins's value. And perhaps that could be a philosophy being used. But there are a lot of guys, if you want to look at it from that perspective. Mike Hilton, who the Bengals are looking at signing, hopefully they won't. It depends on who you're looking for, because they got experienced guys. Xavier Rhodes, I'm not really happy about him. Young cornerbacks that fail to live up to their snuff, like Garyon Conley, the former Ohio State cornerback. Laddie Daddy might won't work with him. Brashad Breeland, who's an interesting cornerback as well. Kevin King, a young veteran. There's Troy Hill from the Rams, who I really like, who I think the Saints should look at. So, I mean, there are other cornerbacks that are out there. Chidi Awuzie, another guy that's out there as well. So there's several interesting options for the Saints to go at the cornerback position. Hopefully they pick up a couple of those guys, to be honest with you, kind of solidify the secondary to a degree. You know, because you want to have some experience there, but you also want to have a draft pick or so what you can kind of groom just in case you sign that veteran on a 1-year deal. You see what I'm saying? Then you can have that young guy behind him who can step up. What's up, Miss Sexy Blacksmith? Who that to you? Good to see you in the chat. Much love, baby. Jasper says no Eli Apple. All right. No transparency. Hendrickson gonna be missed. Yeah, 13.5 sacks. Man, this could. Some people saying Q, that was just an aberration, bro. That was just an aberration. Listen, if he was healthy, if Trey Hendrickson was healthy the rest of those years, he could have produced, he could have been on that cusp. Maybe not 13.5. That's a bit much, but maybe 17, not 17, maybe 7 or 8 sacks per year if Trey Hendrickson was healthy. You know, perhaps is what I'm saying. All right, with that, what's up, John? Who that to you, man? Big ups to you. Good to see you in the chat. Kenneth says Saints are definitely taking their time with Armstead. We'll find out real soon, bro. 17th is fastly approaching. So, Young Sizzle says, y'all really give Taysom that much money. Bro, listen. That contract is not what you think it is. That's all I can say. We covered that yesterday. Go watch yesterday's show there, Young Sizzle. We got the law on that, bro. So we'll get you straight on that. Darrell says, PJ got to go. Jasper says, Q, can he go? Okay, I already read that one. Thank you for that, True Lee's Animal. Seth said they have released Quan. Yes, they have released Quan Alexander. That was a part of it. That freed up some money as well. But it's interesting, man, to say the least, man. We had so much money going on. It's ridiculous, man. We had so much stuff we had to take care of. A lot of stuff. All right. All right. Hey, what's up, Lee? Who that to Lee? Big ups to Lee chiming all the way in from the Philippines. What's up, Lee? How you doing, fam? Ram says, here, Q, I believe Mickey Loomis can make the money work to bring back Jenkins and Alexander. Most certainly. Most certainly. I am definitely a fan of that idea. I've been saying that. I said when they released Jackrabbit, it's because they couldn't work on that extension and they were not going to pay him that $14 million. So what they did was the Saints merely decided, listen, let's let the market dictate his value. And then whatever it is, if it's right where we need it to be, then we'll make it happen. That is a real possibility. And on Quan, the Quan Alexander move is also the same thing because the Saints wasn't going to pay $13 million. Even if the Saints won the Super Bowl, they were not going to re-up that $13 million. They were going to release him then. But I said it at the time, it's a blessing in disguise because when Quan got hurt in week 16, I said what it does is it sets him up to come back on a cheaper 1-year prove-it deal with the Saints as opposed to try to force somebody or try to finagle somebody into thinking, hey, I can do this. No, you excelled exponentially next to DeMario. Why not come back on a cheap prove-it 1-year deal? Fits like a glove. I absolutely am definitely a person that agrees with you 100% of that. So thank you for saying that, Ramsey. What's up, Roy? Roy Baker, who that, bro? Says PJ must have some photos of Peyton. Yeah, he got it from Tommy Lee Lewis. Latasha says, from what I heard, they thought the cap was going to be like 250, but COVID happened and the NFL brought it down. Thank you, baby. Kim says, Mickey talks like he's constipated. All right, big ups. True Louisiana, what's up, fam? All right, what's up? Terry Brown says, should we use Taysom as a starting tight end? No, I don't think we need to use him as a starting tight end. I think Taysom, if any, depending on whoever wins the QB job, Taysom's going to win anyway, because if Jameis wins the job over Taysom, you know that Coach Payton is going to use Taysom in the offense in some capacity, whether it's the running back, wide receiver, tight end, anything like that, or even when if Jameis wins the position, do Sean Payton still use the Taysom Wildcat package? I'll say yes. I'll say he still uses it. So Taysom, regardless if Taysom wins the job or not, he going to win. He wins it or not, he's going to win because he is going to play one way or the other. It's not like Jameis. If Jameis loses, Jameis ain't going to see the field. He not. But if Jameis wins, Taysom's still going to see the field. He's still going to get his packages. That's just what Peyton's going to do. So I don't anticipate him benching Taysom Hill. He's just too much of a force in Coach Payton's offense to see it any other way. So the truth of the matter is Taysom wins regardless of what way this goes. He getting the money, not to mention he's going to play regardless if he's a starting quarterback or not. Y'all know it and I know it too. That's how it goes. All right. Let's see where we at here. So thank you for that question, Terry. Appreciate you, bro. Jasper said we have a tight end who wear number 7. Let's see here. Let me keep going down here. Tyree said, let me see Peyton without Drew Brees. Let me see if he go 12-4, 13-3 without Drew Brees and win the NFC South. I hope Peyton don't go like Belichick without Brady. I don't think so, bro. Because remember, if anything showed you, the last several years showed you that the Saints did have success without Drew. The Teddy Bridgewater years, the Saints were undefeated when Drew was hurt. The last year when Drew went down, the Saints were 3-1 without Drew? And really, truth be told, they could have actually won that game against Philly if they had more of a strong emphasis on the running game. And maybe perhaps some adjustments on the defensive side to put pressure on Jalen and contain him better with a better stratagem, but most certainly running the ball a little bit more effectively than we did in the Philly game could have had a different result. But with that being said, we still had a high degree of winning without Drew. You won games, you were undefeated with Teddy Bridgewater when Drew was hurt, and you only lost one game when he was out this past season. So the Saints do show you that they can, over a small sample size serving, did have success when Drew wasn't in the lineup. That's positive, as opposed to you lost everything when Drew was out. You see what I'm saying? That goes to show you how talented the Saints were as a team. And remember, when Drew went out, the whole team stepped up. The defense, special teams, everybody stepped up because they realized the leader was missing and they had to carry a little bit more weight. And they did that. So the team responded in kind really well when Drew was missing. So I don't anticipate them having a total collapse. I've said the Saints will win 10 games this upcoming season and make the playoffs. Now, I'm not going to say nothing about no Super Bowl right now. I say they do make the playoffs off of talent that they have. I'm not going to say nothing about no Super Bowl, though, because I still need to see what moves the Saints make inside of free agency and then into the draft before I even much talk about some Super Bowl. I mean, that's just how it goes to me. Thank you for that, Tyrese. Thank you for throwing that out there. DLP said Jonnu Smith got paid today. Yeah, the Patriots. I'm not mad at Bill Belichick making some moves there. All right. What's up, Kate? Said Jameis Winston underrated and gets much hate. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. Some people do not like Jameis Winston simply because of his days at Tampa, and Tampa being a bitter rival. And remember, Jameis had scrums with the Saints. He did little stuff like that. So a lot of that still ain't wear off some of the Saint faithful, you know. But, you know, that's a part of that rival thing, you know. But he's here now. He's a Saint now. And some people just got to get used to it, man. Jameis Winston is a New Orleans Saint. Don't hate on Winston, you know. You just can't do it. All right. Let's see. Delp's ex-Viking tight end is available. Kyle Rudolph. Yeah. I don't know if he's in our price range, though. Thank you for that. Cade says Trey Henderson went from who that to who they. How about that, huh? Who that to who they. How about that? I wasn't even thinking about that, but that's a good one right there. But isn't that silly, though? You know, and I ain't trying to talk mess about these Bengal people. But how pathetic are you to come up with a dumb, silly, stupid, silver trash can ass comment like who they say they're gonna beat them Bengals? Who they? What kind of stupidity is that? That don't even sound right. But you so much of a copycat and so unimaginative. Who they don't have nothing to do with your damn Bengal. I mean, you couldn't come up with something else for a tiger or a Bengal, a roar or something else. You know what I'm saying? Or make a roar for them or something. Or you had to go who they, and then say we ain't still that cute. But it's the same rhythmatic pattern as who that said they're going to beat them Saints. Who that? They say the same thing, but they say who they said they're going to beat them Bengals. Who they? What kind of dumb, silver trash can, non-imaginative, funky, rotten, underhanded ass thing is that? Who they? Who they? Seriously, bro? Dumbest shit in the world. Dumbest crap. And whoever did that, they need to take them, put them in a rocket, and shoot them at the moon. No. Shoot his ass at the sun. That's what they need to do. Put him in a rocket and shoot his ass at the sun. I mean, man, that took no imagination whatsoever for you to sit up there and talk about, I got an idea. What you got? We got the saying. What is it? Who they said they gonna beat them Bengals? Who they? Who they said they gonna beat them Bengals? Who they? And then the dumbass people go, oh, that's it. That's terrible, man. Who they said they gonna beat them Bengals? Oh my goodness. Dumbest crap in the world. Stupidest stuff I ever heard. All right. Latasha says Burrow got to stop holding on to the ball so long. People want to blame their whole line, but Burrow be holding on to the ball too long once they get that. It's true. I've seen them do that. Thank you, Tasha. 95 lots is cute. Would you give up Teron for 2 first rounds this year? And hell yeah, I would give him up for first two. Oh, Teron, sorry, brother, you got to go. Yeah, man, they need that, man. Plus, remember, the NFL, Goodell has not yet levied his punishment for the Kamara situation that occurred last year. So we don't know. You're going to need some more picks. Something tell me you're going to lose one of them. Some money and at least one of your picks. I don't know how high or how many picks, but he going to bring it one way or the other. All right, man. So I want to keep it real cute. I don't like none of the moves the Saints are doing because he says inexplicable. How do we keep getting rid of Pro Bowlers but keep PJ and Marcus? Make that make sense? I can't, bro. I can't make that make sense. You don't put Pro Bowlers in the street if you got PJ Williams there. You know, and I see saying PJ Williams because he's already a free agent. But PJ Williams and Patrick Robinson is the same effing guy to me. I'm sorry, they are. They both two silver trash can cornerbacks that need to get the hell up out of here. I'm sorry. They just stealing money. You know, they incomplete. They incomplete. They don't pay attention. One of them always hurt. The other one act like he don't have no kind of common sense. He do one thing right, the next thing, and he be out there busting, just knocking the ball away on accident. Man, I'm like, man, come on. Enough is enough. I done seen PJ Williams enough, man. I done seen enough of you, bro. Go somewhere else. Go. Leave. Damn. I can't make that make sense, Iceman, but give it some time, bro. Like I said, it's still very early on right now, and the Saints had to cut. They had to cut it, bro. Super Bowl or bust mean you got to get rid of all them guys, Emmanuel and all these other guys that were here. You know, we were a big time high up over that cap. So a lot of these men had to go. But the reality, the true core essence of the team, the young personnel really benefited for having an experienced, high talented players around. They learned a lot. And a lot of these guys, the younger players, are ready to step up for more dominant roles on the team, which is a major plus. That shows growth. So don't be so upset right now. It's too early on in the process to be judging it right now. Now, I understand your frustration about the Jackrabbit, but it's not over with. We could go back to the Jackrabbit. All they doing right now is just letting the market dictate his value. Perhaps there's a more talented guy than the Jackrabbit that'll be available out there. Let's see how this all plays, because you never know. It might play in your favor, but then again, it might not. But still in all, it's a little too early. Let's have a little bit more patience to see what transpires. Thank you for that, Iceman. D's nuts, I think so. He's hardly plays the position. Bean and Beast says, when will the Saints extend Latin Ram? Should be in the next couple of days, my friend. It's definitely going to be before the 17th, in my opinion. That probably will be the big news item of tomorrow. Will be the extensions of both Lattimore and Ryan Ramczyk, because that will free up. That has a propensity to free up, if done correctly, at least about $18 million. Well, at the most 18, 19, depending on what the base salary is going to be for the 2021. But the Saints could free up, conservatively $15 million between those two players, being that they both count for 21 against the current cap this year. But they can free up $15 million. By reworking those two deals would have catapult the Saints into the black and give them some kind of money. So be expecting that to happen between, I say tomorrow, but most certainly no later than Wednesday, because that's the deadline for them to get it done, for them to be back in the black or be penalized. So we'll keep, hope that answers the question there, my friend. Appreciate you there. Kate says, should the Saints actually try with Jameis or tank to get Spencer Rattler or Sam Howell? No, I don't think tanking's in the Saints' nature, man. We'll let the stinking Jets do that, or the profuse garbage time Jaguars who tank to get Trevor Lawrence and all these other silver trash can ass teams out here that need to tank to win. That's not tanking. It's not in the nature of the Who Dat Nation. It's in the nature of Philadelphia and all these pathetic garbage time teams. That's in their losing ass nature. That is not in the nature of the great Saint Think Tank or the Who Dat Nation. We are not a group of tankers. We have enough talent on this team to get to the playoffs. If the season started tomorrow, the Saints have enough talent on this team to get to the playoffs. I mean, we really do. The issue is, can the Saints then add to what they're doing here? And I do think they can. So I say no against the tanking, because if they have very good quarterbacks in this draft, if they felt like they need to go and get them, they can go get them. But I say no to the tanking. Thank you, Cade, for that question, though. All right, DLP said William Jackson is available. That's true. Could be cheap. So the second or third layer of the cornerbacks is which I was talking about. You never know. You never know how it's going to fold. But you did hear Mickey Loomis say today early on about where the Saints are not going to be players. And, Mickey never said they're not going to be players. In my recollection of following the team for all these years, I've not known Mickey Loomis to ever say, we're not going to be players, in free agency. I never known him to say that. He came out and kept it real and was honest, and I can appreciate Mickey Loomis for that. We got love for Mickey over here, but he did say that. But I still say the Saints are going to find really good players in that second level and third level of free agency. They're going to find some players to help them win some contests. Trust and believe they're good at that. Jay Huntsberry, what's up? Jay says we should sign Green to the vet minimum. Virgil Green would be a good addition for the Saints. I really like that. I would really appreciate him coming in here. Yannick Mack, what's up, fam? Said Bengals need a rebrand. I mean, that stinks, that Who Dey, man. That stinks, man. And I'm not saying, because they biting off the Saints. That's a clear bite. That's like a clear bite off the Saints. Even the rhythm of the whole thing. Who Dey say they going, it's not a different song like Who Dey gonna beat them Bengals, Who Dey, or something like that. You know, that sounds stupid, but that sounds stupid what they're doing too. It's the same rhythmatic pattern. The only thing they did was take the A and the T and replace it with an E and Y. It's the same rhythm. Who Dey say they're gonna beat them. It's the same thing. And I think it's just stupid. Why would you do that? You know, we should have sued their ass into the ground for doing that. But Tyrese says Tom Brady not going to be getting the ball down the field. He's going to be washed up. I understand he's the greatest QB that ever plays the game, but he's going to be 44 still trying to go for another. If they surround him with enough talent and protect him back there as the quarterback, that dude going to throw passes and he's going to make stuff happen. I mean, if you listen, if Tom Brady's back there and you protect him and you let him throw the ball, he'll tear you up, man. That's the same thing with Drew Brees. If Drew Brees was standing up back there and you protecting him and he got all that time, he'll tear you up back there. You might not be able to throw it 50 yards, but he'll slice you up like a Christmas turkey, you know. But if you give him time, all of the great ones, if you give him time, they'll kill you. So he's 44 years old, but he can still make it work as long as they can let him stand up there. He'll be all right. Jamal said the Bengals always signing Saints players. They got another one with Trey Hendrickson. What's up, Big Smoke? He said 5140. Constant Flow says corny because the dude sound like he had fun. I don't understand what you're talking about. Let's see. Jay says we should sign. Okay, I got that one. Thank you for that. What's up, Chance? Chance Morris says what do we address first in the draft versus free agency? Cornerback, linebacker, defensive line, or wide receiver? Biggest need currently right now since the Saints have ultimately re-signed Jameis Winston and Taysom within days of each other. The biggest move now. Of course, we're looking at they might say wide receiver. In my opinion, I say it's still secondary. You don't have a starting cornerback right now. I mean, so that's definitely got to be something that we have to address. So I would have to say, Chance, that we go with cornerback. I have to agree with you on that. That cornerback is the biggest need right now. And then ultimately, defensive edge rusher, we need another DN. Just in case you got an older Cam Jordan, you got a Davenport that hadn't played a full season for you. Carl Granderson's cool, you know, but you don't really know, you know, if Carl can handle that weight. You never had to see it before. So I still say edge rusher is something that we need to look at as well. And of course, you lost Malcolm Brown. You need depth there in the middle that you can get that in the draft. But really secondary, I won't go secondary and say that's the biggest need we have right now. Getting that cornerback going into it. Now, of course, the Saints will then do the reserve moves like getting a tight end. I say they still get a veteran tight end. You still have to fill in some of the pieces with the interior defensive line. A lot of people want a linebacker there. I say we can address that in the draft. But secondary is key to me, man. You can also get a wide receiver in the draft as well if you want to do that, or a cheaper wide receiver that bring in to add to the veteran group that you have now. So I would have to say cornerback, Chance. Thank you for that. Jay Huntsberry says, did Peyton steal Goodell woman years ago? He hates us. Well, I mean, it didn't have nothing to do with Coach Peyton. It's a Saints thing. Tom Benson and Jerry Jones voted against Goodell being the commissioner. Other teams voted him in. And when he did that, he made it a point he's very vindictive. And he remembers the Saints. And he does everything he can when the Saints pop up with all type of disciplines to handle them bad. You know, when the situation occurred, when the guy Roby ran over Tommy Lee, he hid for 2 weeks and then had a press conference the day before the Super Bowl and refused to take any questions about that play. Y'all remember that? That was totally that was disgusting. That was awful. And when I seen that, I went at him, and I've been going at him ever since. I've been going at him ever since, because a lot of people throw up the stuff that happened with Bountygate, but they don't also say that the NFL apologized to the Saints for Bountygate. But every time you hear the Bounty Gate stuff from ESPN or the NFL Network or all these other morons out here talking about Saints, they never say the fact that the NFL apologized for Bounty Gate years later. But they took Saints, they fined the Saints, they took draft picks away from the Saints. And really, it wasn't about them targeting players for money. They needed an excuse to destroy the Saints team because the Saints just won that Super Bowl. And the Saints were primed to go back and demolish the Super Bowl again. And they needed a reason to tear the team up. And they tore the team up for at least for several years. They tore the Saints up. It took 3 years, over 3 years, for the Saints to rebound from what the NFL did to them. They never gave them money or compensated them with money. They never gave them draft picks. But they issued an apology under Goodell. I didn't like that. I didn't like how he handled the stuff with Courtney Roby running over Tommy Lee out there in that Rams game. I didn't like how he handled it because he could have said, y'all, we're going to replay that. But he didn't want to do that because the fix was in for the Rams to make it there, because every team that make it to that Super Bowl, they got to build an interest in the team for where that stadium was at. If y'all remember, the Rams had that stadium being built. The next year they opened that stadium up. And people don't support that goddamn teams up there in Los Angeles. They don't support them pro teams. But letting them get to the Super Bowl builds the interest in the team. That's how phony baloney that is when you get into the playoffs. And just because I enjoy it don't mean that I can't deny say that. Because the same shit happened at any professional sport in the world. If it's called professional sports and it's in the countries and they running it, it got a control dynamic to it. And most of the times it's ran by corporations and the mob. It is. It is. But what makes it fair is you. You have to notice that, and you have to speak out against that with your, not only your voice, but with your dollars, which I'm proud of the people, because we didn't support that last Super Bowl. And it was one of the worst Super Bowls monetarily for them, which means that they paying attention. We can't be doing all this. We got to draw back and see, because they do all this stuff in front of you because they think you ain't paying attention. But when you know that an informed populace, they can't play with you. But see, we got to start thinking, man, and that's what you take all that shit over then, because it's for you. See, they can't fund themselves. See, all the money they get it from you. Even the stadiums and all this shit out here, all that comes from you. If you stop turning your money and your viewership, they will wither and die like a tree or a plant that you're not watering anymore. It'll fizzle up and die, baby, because you ain't giving it the money, you ain't giving it your energy, you ain't giving it your time. You are really in control. And that's what I be trying to get people to understand. You don't say, well, that's fake, I'm going to run away from it. Man, they got people. I cover boxing, man. Let me tell you something about the worst and most corrupt goddamn sport in the history of time is boxing. And I'm a dude with a boxing background. And I'm telling these morons here, when we do Ring Kings boxing, they so brainwashed. A lot of people so brainwashed. They think that shit out there real. They don't think that at some degree that people at certain fights, they will pay for belts. If you don't believe that it's fixed, look what Canelo Alvarez is doing right now. These fighters are laying down the. You watch the fight, the last bum ass fighter Canelo Alvarez fought. I don't even want to get a guy any credit for even saying his name. That garbage time taxi cab driver. This dude was fighting and was punching to the beside his head. He wasn't even landing. And I looked at that fight. I looked at the fight again, slowed it down, and the guy was punching to his side. The man wasn't even moving his head for him to miss. He was punching to the side of the goddamn man's head. Then, of course, in that stuff that I have to show, I cover on Ring Kings Boxing, the fact that Mike Tyson came out and said he had a prosthetic penis with his baby urine in it he used to use to pass drug tests because he was cheating and doping. But see, it's the great this, is the great that. But see, people can't handle that real, man. If you can't handle the real, go to somebody that's going to tell your ass some fantasy shit. Because I keep it real on this platform, and we're going to talk about pro sports. We're going to talk about it for real. We ain't going to sit up here and pretend. I ain't got time to play pretend games with your ass on here. We're going to keep it real on every level. That's what it is, and that's how it's going to be. That's why people got love for the great Saint Thing taking Who That Nation. I keep it real. What kind of person would I be if I sit up here and play fairy tales with your ass and don't tell you the truth about this stuff, man? Come on. That's not keeping it real. That's fake as some gun, man. I'm going to keep it real and tell the truth. So all these people out here, yes, that's right. Michael Jordan was strong. He was point shaving. Yes, right. That's why he got his ass threw up out of the league, talking about he retired. No, it was tied to point shaving. But they'll tell you anything if you don't know better. How about Magic Johnson with all that stuff? What he was doing? I'm not even gonna go there. But you got to have the mind to understand that a lot of this stuff out here is controlled by them people to create a narrative. But if you are awake, They can't do that to you. So that's why I say it like it is. All right, the rest of the family members, King Judah says, what about changing overtime rule because the Saints were flagged all the way down into the field goal range over the Vikings? That really, and you know what? You can do that, King Judah, and who that to you. You can change the rules all you want, but remember when they changed the rule to challenge the referees to say, okay, no, go back and look at that play? Remember the following year when those rules happened, and I said this when they did that, is I said the problem is not the rules, it's the people enforcing the rules. It's the same thing today. It's the same mirror image of what you see out in the community today. You got people marching all the way around the place and burning up shit and all this kind of stuff going on in the country. That's the climate, right? And then they're saying we need reform this, we need reform that. The rules is already on the books. All that stuff is on the books already. The rules is on the books already. You just need to enforce what's there. So what good is talking about reforming something if you're not going to enforce it? The rules is only good as the people that's enforcing them. Did you get that? It's the same in the NFL with the referees. If you could change the rules all day, but if the guy passed interference to man and you force the referee to go over there and look at the dude and say, hey, man, you need to look at that again. And then the son bitch go look at it and come back out and call the same play. What good that do? What good it do? The rule changes is only as good as the people enforcing them. If you got a bunch of crummy dogs up there, and I don't pull my tongue with these smelly ass referees, but if you got a bunch of crummy dogs up there that's enforcing the rule that's not going to call it right, you can change the rules 1,000 times. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. So that's only as good as the people enforcing them. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I said them rule changes ain't going to benefit nobody because they're going to continue to do. You got to take that out of their hands is what I'm saying. They got to be somebody that's independent of the referee, independent of the NFL, and they'll never do that because they need that. It's a control dynamic so much so that they can't have an independent person in there saying, no, you wrong. We're going to flip this upside down, dude. Oh, no, what you talking about? They ain't going to let you do that. But thank you for that, bro. He said the fix was in on it. I got you. You're right. A lot of that was true, but you got to understand how the narratives run. That's why I keep telling people you can enjoy whatever you have out there, but understand that all this comes from a position of truth. And usually, in order to lie to you, they don't spin a whole lie at your ass. They'll take a lie and then wrap it around. They'll take it, put the truth in there, and then wrap it around it. So it's like a burrito, the meat or the beans or whatever the interior is or whatever it is, your enchilada, whatever it is, that's the truth. And then around it is the lies. And that's what they feed you. And they say, well, this is this, that, and the third, and that. We just have to be astute enough to know how the game is played. All right, let me keep going up out of here. I got a few more I'm going to get over, then I'm going to bounce up out of here. It's 1 o'clock here. Kelvin, what's up, Kelvin? Big ups to Kelvin Washington from Phoenix, Arizona. What's up, Kel? Big ups. Joanne says, that's a fact, Big Q. You speaking of facts, it's always bigger hands. It is, but that's what I'm saying. When I tell you this, understand that sports is indicative of life. It all comes from somewhere. And the more you know, the more empowered you are. That's why it's a effort to, they can't keep information away from you, but they can give you misinformation, which is pretty much is a military term. To misinform you is to misalign you. So instead of having your ducks in a row or your troops lined up the way they're supposed to be so you're being effective, you have them misaligned. You have them over here, you're not, so you're not effective. That's what misinformation does, you see? But when you're informed or you're in position or you're in formation where you can do and have the most impact, there's very few things they can tell you. Well, you have to be able to have that level of thinking to be able to understand how the game is played, and then once it's played, you can ultimately end up controlling it. Because really, they say it's them, but if they coming to you for finances and coming to you for whatever it belongs to you. The power is into you, and that's why I always speak against that pyramid. It's upside down. They'll tell you, the rich people sit up here. Now them people, all them super rich people out there got their money ill-godly. And I ain't talking about the ones I'm talking about old money. I'm talking about 100-year-old. Old money. Most of that stuff came from the slavery game and insurance. I mean, that goes a long way. You can research this stuff. That's old money. Old money. Men and queen, all them old kings and queens, they got their money from slave trading and opium trade with the East Indian Company and all that's in the history, man. But I'm saying unless you understand how the world works, and if you don't get that, then there'll be another 5 to 30 years down the line, they'll wipe all that out. You won't know that. That's the purpose of having electronic books and not paper books, because they could just hit a button and erase all that shit. That's why I keep telling people, if you want a library, go get you some books, order some stuff, you know? All right, let's keep it going here, man. But that's the dynamic, man. But that don't mean you can't enjoy it. Just take it over. Make it real. Keep it real. Don't fall into the illusion. What's up, Ramsey? Ramsey, you says, who remember Goodell kneeling in front of the 100-year-old Vikings fan right before? Yeah. How about that? Refs and more importantly, the timekeeper started their cheating. Yeah, they're a pack of dogs, man. I can't say. I really despise those guys. Cuz Sullivan says, why does NFL does not pay their referees? To keep them part-time is a better way to control the referees. That's my perspective on the referees. They're gutless. They don't deserve full pay anyway. Any person that's willing to sell out their soul to do what they do, knowing that they cheating them teams, they don't deserve nothing but a foot up their ass. That's all I got to say about that. I'm going to leave that one alone right there. Y'all know I don't play when it come down to them referees, especially NFL referees, man. KK 504 lady says, how can we stand after the game and talk to the man that embarrassed you? It's fixed. Ivan, what's up? Ivan says, are we really going to be the 2020 Patriots? Says Colin Cowherd. Colin Cowherd, I call him Cow Patty Cowherd. Colin Cow Patty Cowherd is a lawyer or a bureaucrat talking about sports. He don't know shit about the Saints, family. I'm just gonna keep it real. They're on our Tuesday show on Patreon, TSC Q&A Live, we constantly breaking down footage of Colin Cow Patty Cowherd and the nonsense he said. He's a bureaucrat talking about sports. He got the game all fooled, man. When it come down to Saints stuff, I'll eat his ass up and spit him out. And he can come on up here all he want. He can't talk no Saints with me, man. You can't sit up here and pretend like you know 30-something other teams. You don't know a damn thing about the Saints. They're going to be the Patriots. How they going to be the Patriots, jackass? The Patriots ain't have Alvin Kamara, Mike Thomas, Cam Jordan, DeMario Davis. And even you thinking you need a quarterback at the top. The Saints so dominant with the run, and our defense, I ain't going to even get into it. But I disagree. Let's just say that, Ivan. Thank you for that. All right. Bean and B says, can they change the narrative from Tom Brady? Please. It's coming, bro. Sooner or later, because people's knowing it, that's why you know that's going to stop. The Tom Brady narrative can't keep going because it's very predictable. So, I mean, you're going to see a change. You're going to see a change. Watch. All this is about to change. This is the era of change, my friend. Watch. You're going to see. What's up, LaShawn? Who that to you, baby? Good to see LaShawn in the building. What's up? What you doing up late, girl? What you doing up late? All right, let's keep it going here. Ivan says, are we really? Okay, thank you for that, Ivan. Appreciate that comment, man. Miss Sexy Black says, what bothers me the most, she got it all high capital letters, about Drew's retirement is how Goodell brought Tom to the South to humiliate Drew, and Drew won't be able to revenge it. Yeah, well, you know, the ultimate revenge, what they say, one of my favorite old sayings that they always say is the best revenge is to live well. And Drew will live well. You know, he will live well. So he got the last laugh. You might take his records down, but remember, records are meant to be broken. You know, they're meant to be broken. We said it and he did it. One thing you can't take away from him, that he's a first ballot Hall of Fame. You know, he's a Hall of Famer. They can't take that. So the best revenge is simply to live well. And he will do that. So Joanne says games should never be determined by referee. It makes the game artificial. I know, but that's how they do it. Now, years ago, they used to use players to point shade. Certain players. But it's been more efficient for them to use the referees. That's why you start seeing them make these calls, and then they create these rules, and they play with the rules where they create a lot of gray area. Like, this is a catch, this is not a catch. It shouldn't be that convoluted, but they do that to create a way so they can maneuver back and forth because they don't know how to play the game straight. See, that's the thing. It got to be something, honesty got to be something in you, and not some title you sit up here and give yourself, or somebody else give you by calling you the honorable such and such. And some of these people they call honorable, some of the worst pieces of shit you ever could imagine. Worst pieces of shit ever. But they're giving them these titles. You know, but titles cannot be given. They must be earned. And earning, being honorable or somebody that has integrity, that has to be something that you actually have to have inside of yourself. To be somebody that's an honest person, or a person that has integrity or loyalty or dedication or consistency, or these positive attributes, are something that's got to be inside of you and then displayed by the person to have earned those attributes. You can't be somebody calling yourself honorable when you haven't earned it. You have not honorable. You a person lying your ass all the time. What you honorable? What is that? You lying your ass off. This the honorable such and such. Oh yeah, okay, whatever. All right, big ups to you. Doc Skis, we're not going to mention Tom Brady attempting to dap off the refs. I seen that. But see, that's a part of the game, man. You're not supposed to see that. You know, and the truth of, see, a lot of y'all awake, and I'm really appreciative of y'all guys being so smart. But a lot of people aren't awake right now, man. And this is not the time to be sleeping. And I often warn against this time. And I often tell y'all to be mindful of everything because they are running a full-blooded, cold-blooded ass simulation right now. I mean, this shit ain't even, I mean, it's just really crazy to me, man. And I talked about it on my news show, On Q with Big Q, which is available on Patreon. So if you want to hear that stuff, like more of what I'll be talking about, feel free to go there. Over a dozen shows available. That and the TSC Q&A Live. It's over 40 shows of TSC Q&A Live available on our Patreon channel. But I do my news stuff, and I'm going to do a show tomorrow as well, covering some more stuff. So, I mean, it's amazing, man. So if y'all interested, join the Patreon. It helps out the platform. Plus, it's good information. D's Nuts says, Q, did you say D's Nuts in the building yet? I just did, bro. I just said it, bro. I ain't gonna say that again. That's that. I gotta laugh every time, man. That's Dre. That's back in the NWA days, man. All right, Constant Flow said people sleep on Winston. He never had a complete team around him. Let's not forget either he played through a torn meniscus and a broken thumb on his. I remember Constant Flow, and thank you for that great information because you're right. It was the model of inconsistency during that period of time. He had like, 3 coaches and 3 offensive coordinators or something like that. It was ridiculous. But you're right. He didn't have a stable environment there in Tampa Bay, but people don't remember that. I just want them to be able to give Jameis a chance because I was one of them people that keep his stinking ass away from here. I didn't like how he did when he played us, poking his finger in the back of a laddie daddy's helmet, inciting that fight. Remember that? And also when he got sacked by Cam that time, he pulled Cam's face back into when he was getting that kind of stuff rubbed me the wrong way. But you got to let it go. He on the Saints now, and I had to give a man a chance. He showed that he was really good, man. I got to get a man some love. So I was one of them Jameis bashers. Didn't want him on the team, but it is what it is. He's on the team now, and I had to forgive him and move on, baby. That's what a Saint do. A Saint got to forgive. You know what I'm saying? And we are the Saint. So thank you for that information, my brother. Thank you. KK 504 and 404 lady says, Miss K, did you know Drew's mom? Yeah, in 09. Yeah, how about that? Yeah. The Drew Brees story is so, because Drew's mom and it's so sad because he sued his mother. A lot of people, to get into the Drew stuff, because it's this, if they had a Saint school family, you know, and they were handing out doctorates and stuff, like you had a bachelor's, a master's, and a doctorate, we would get doctorates in Saints information. We go to Saints University and have doctorates and bachelors and shit, because that it's so much of the team. I could sit here for hours and we can just go around the sub stories of the players that I investigated and found out about. Drew Brees, him and his mother story is so sad, man. It's so very sad. And from time to time, I'll touch on it, you know, but his mama, he sued his mama, man, because she was using his name against his will and was doing stuff, you know, with stuff. And he sued his mom. They had a very, very dysfunctional relationship, which is to see Drew had coming away from that type of environment and being as committed he is. But it was because of that environment that Drew Brees is as great as what he is, because we come from some of us come from the most diverse backgrounds, but we do not let those diverse backgrounds define who we are. You see, we do not let the environment be a reason why we cannot succeed. And the greatest of us understand that, in the gravity of the environment that tends to try to hold them there can no longer hold them once that mentality happens. So when that mentality happens, it breaks that pull, that hold on you. And he was able to ascend to levels. He got a beautiful family. They love him. He's a positive dude in the community. Drew's an overall good dude. That's because he comes from that from a very positive, a very negative background. But you know what they also say is that they say what they said. I'm gonna say it in reverse. As they say, well, I ain't gonna. That's a photography term. I forgot portions of. I'll say it at another date when I investigated. But thank you for that, though. But yeah, that was very sad with Drew, man. That was very sad. His upbringing. Yeah, I remember that he sued his mama, man, because she was using his name wrong, using it without his permission to make money off him, all that kind of. They had all kind of stuff going on. So sad, so very sad. All right, what's up, fam, and the rest of y'all? All right, big ups. Ramps, okay. Let's see what else we got. Mr. 504, what's up, brother? 504 Easy says, came in late, Big Q. What were your thoughts on the 1 year deal? What happened? They trusting. He says, what happened? They not trusting Winston? That was the question I was asked, bro. Only a 1 year deal? But you got to also remember, it's the same with Taysom, even though it's all this stupid money that they put there. It's like zeros in a computer don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? They say, well, I got $1 million and you got a bunch of zeros in the computer. That just means somebody, you know, it's just a bunch of it's a bunch of fiction how that contract is put together. And the reality is it's like it's all those years avoidable. So if the Saints wanted to get from up under them, there is no long-term vision at the QB position that I was looking for with the extension, with hopefully if you sign Taysom or Jameis, may there be something there. But that does open up questions that there's a question that Jameis could not be that guy, because you would think, okay, he was here, we want him back for this year, but another tryout year at $5 million as opposed to $1 million. You got Taysom there. What do the Saints do in the draft? Do we ultimately finally put this to bed this year and draft the quarterback? Could this be the year where we finally take a quarterback in the draft? I don't know. But the quarterback position is so nerve-wracking because they don't play with nobody else, but you know they play with everybody else with the quarterback multi-years except for Drew. You know, Drew come in here and get 3, 4 years, whatever you want. But everybody not named Drew is 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. I don't get that, bro. I was expecting at least 2 years to give you some sense of stability, but that is simply not the case. It's all open for interpretation. We have to be able to see what goes on. I got you, D's. And I say I get you every time. All right. Big ups to you, fam. All right. State of the Pelicans. What's up, DJ New Orleans Saints? He said, do you see us drafting a QB since Jameis? I just said, I didn't even see your statement. I just addressed that. It's so hard for me to envision Coach Payton taking a quarterback because he never did that before. And he never did that because that's not a part of Coach Payton's philosophy. It's taking a quarterback. The best quarterback he ever self-scouted, he said himself, was Patrick Mahomes, and he still didn't move up to go get him. If you was that hell-bent and that serious about him, we didn't even go and trade up to get him. You know, you let another guy get him. And then another guy they liked, which was Deshaun Watson, we took Laddie Daddy that year, and whatchamacallit took him. So, you know, it's hard, man, because I don't think it's a part of Coach Payton's philosophy to draft quarterbacks. I mean, the last quarterback he took was Grayson out of Colorado State. That didn't turn out well. So, I mean, and the rest of the guys that he has here are reclamation projects, guys that had some experience in the NFL. So the learning curve is shorter. And maybe that's a part of the fact that he's getting older. Maybe that's a part of the fact that Coach Payton, wants to win quicker. You know, because his 3 years left on his contract, you know, maybe that's a part of it. But it's hard to see him picking a quarterback with the first round pick because he don't feel no kind of ways about the quarterbacks in this draft that he did against ones in the prior, which he was in a better shape and position-wise, draft-wise to get. So it's hard for me to envision Coach Payton taking a quarterback with the first round draft pick, maybe later on in the draft, but not with the first round pick. You know what I'm saying? Simply because he doesn't do it. And I'm not saying he can't do it, but man, listen, every human has a certain behavior pattern, and Coach Payton's behavior pattern is he favors reclamation projects with an NFL experience. You know, so we'll see how it shakes. But if I had to put money to it, I would say no, we don't take no quarterback with the first round pick. That's just my taking on it, just watching it, man. All right, Packers go say, I'm getting told by a source that Galladay is signing a 4-year deal with the Dolphins. Oh, how about that? Very interesting. Thank you, Packers go. Appreciate that. All right, Tramal says, black parents always do that. Goonie 300, what's up, fam? Say, I thought I was ready for Drew to leave. Now it's hard to see him go. Yeah, it's going. Well, we've had I don't mean over a dozen years of Drew Brees down here, man, and it's not going to seem right to open up training camp and Drew's not there. So even though we know he's retired, it didn't really hit a lot of us until you start seeing the Saints go into training camp without Drew, and you see somebody else battling at the Q. That's when it's going to really start hitting a lot of people that Drew's not there anymore. You know, that he's not playing football anymore. See, it's still very, and we prepared ourselves to a degree for his retirement, but it won't truly hit you till you realize you ain't gonna see him in training camp throwing the ball or doing the little exercises where he being accurate and all the kind of stuff that Drew do. That'll be in a, it ain't gonna hit a lot of us until say, damn, Drew ain't there no more, Yeah, we're gonna have to get used to it. It's gonna take a little time. Thank you, Goonie. Jay Huntsberry said, I think they could have, he said they couldn't have get to what he wanted, so it's a 1 year prove it with more money available next year. Okay, I get what you're saying. Well, I mean, it was the competition with the Bears, but Jameis made the decision. He could have stayed out there a little bit longer, because the Bears was, offering them something. And I'm pretty sure later on the Bears could have said, listen, we'll give you a couple years on the deal. But possibly this could be Jameis too. Jameis could say, listen, let me get this, and then I hit free agency again for a payday. Could have been that too. He could be banking on himself at a higher rate this year because Jameis took this job because he knows he really feels confident he could beat Taysom Hill out that quarterback job. I'm telling you, I'm just keeping it real. All right, Miss X Blacksmith says no superstar is just like Kenyon's daughter tonight. Anthony, I think most of our D-line's contracts finish out next year. We got a lot of people coming up off the cap. That's why the draft is so important, bro. We just got to keep it going, Clean Hands said, I like the contract for Hill and Winston. They're going to compete, become the starter. Best man wins. Thank you. All right. DJ says, who is to say Sean don't pick? Yeah, he could pick a quarterback. That's what I'm saying. Who knows? At the end of the day, I don't, just because he hadn't done it before don't mean that he won't do it this year. But in my opinion, I don't think he takes a quarterback with the first round pick. Who are you going to take at 28? What quarterback going to be available at 28? The mock drafts have 5 quarterbacks at the first round grades. Now, of course, somebody could have another quarterback that's higher than another guy, but the 5 that they have that are there are drafted out or positioned to be guys that'll be drafted inside the top 15 picks. So do we move up to go and get a quarterback, or do we sit back at 28? If you could possibility, somebody could fall in the draft. It happens every year. They can have some negative report, somebody smoking weed, or somebody did something, somebody slapped somebody upside the head. It happens all the time. So I mean, anything can happen. People slide all the time in the draft. We just have to watch it. So we'll see. Rob says, draft the quarterback. Jameis, who and did what? Come on. Yeah, well, we'll see, Rob. Appreciate the comment. KB said, how y'all and enjoying the show and don't want to hit the like button. Thank you, KB. Appreciate you. All right. DJ Axon, he says he says Trey going where Von Bell is. Yep. Von Bell is up there. Trey Hendrickson is up there. Man, Cincinnati trying to put something together at the Saints' expense. And you stole our nickname, stealing everything now. Stealing our song. They got who they said they're going to beat them Bengals. Who they? Now they got the bank Trey Hendrickson, Von Bell up there. They just doing what they do. All right. Jay Hunt says he'll earn more money by performing in New Orleans. Rob said that'll work. Give him some weapons. Jay Huntsberg said I could be Taysom. Ramsey U says Goodwin coming over to play with the real champions, New Orleans 2 wide receiver. That would be nice. I don't know if we can afford him though, man. That's the thing. I don't know if we can afford Goodwin. Goodwin would be a nice addition. His size, his speed, nice compliment, veteran guy. He'd be tremendous. But I don't know if we can pay him. That's the thing, man. The Saints, maybe, when we get clear of this, get out of the red, maybe we can do some stuff. We'll see. We'll see. It'd be interesting. It'd be good to see 1 or 2 of those guys come on the team. Rob says he'll try out. I'm sure they'll sign him off the street. Mickey, KK50444 lady says Mickey can beat Taysom. y'all tearing up Poe Taysom. Constant Flow says Winston will still throw some INTs. That's just who he is. A gunslinger. He'll also have TDs to go with it. 30 INTs were an abnormal. You're right. Very abnormal for him to have 30 interceptions. Inconsistent situation in Tampa Bay as well. And you're absolutely right. He's going to throw interceptions because you're right. And I've said that before. He is a gunslinger. You won't be able to get that out of there. Get it out of his mentality because he believes that he can make every throw. And we just got to work on Jameis and Taysom, both of them. Whoever wins, they win, and make it happen. That's big shoes to fill with Drew Brees. And we're going to see how it all shakes in the end, man. That's all I can say. KB said, we can't afford nobody. We got to get ready, get great value players. Oh, D's Nuts said Golden Tate going to be a Saint, sadly. You know what? He would be an excellent slot weapon for the Saints because he can play outside, inside, very shrewd route runner. I'm not upset about that, man, about landing a guy like that. I think that's a tremendous move. If you did get a Golden Tate, Tate would be the perfect slot weapon. Like I said, you can move him all around the field. He's a reliable person. He catches everything he throws to you. He's very, even at his stage of this career, he's very elusive and a very good player to add to your wide receiver core. And you could probably get him on a premium. So I wouldn't think that's such a bad idea. Constantly says wide receivers are deep in this draft as well. Could go that route. Yep. Secondary, defensive end, and of course, think about this too. I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna end the show. The Saints went to Clemson Pro Day to check out some people up there, and what's interesting about that is, of course, I was watching reports about them looking at Etienne and several other Clemson players. Now, if Trevor and Etienne is there, do the Saints did not take him? That's something. If a guy like Etienne is there, it'd be a hard proposition for somebody that's offensively gifted as Coach Payton's offense is to pass on a guy like Etienne. If he's there at 28, the Saints gonna, in my opinion, they take him. You have him and Kamara back there. Are you kidding me? I keep saying that because I keep seeing that. I'm like, the Saints, look, he said, like, Etienne could be available at 28. He could. Because the top running back that everybody looking at is Najee Harris. Now, of course, Harris could, you could see Steelers could step in there and say, nah, we're going to take Trevor Etienne and put him on our team. That's possible. But I'm saying if he's there, you grab him. If Terrace Marshall Jr. is there at 28, you get a hold to him. I keep saying that because really how it's working out, the Saints got holes everywhere. But the secondary is the biggest move. And I want an interior edge, like a edge rusher, maybe a veteran. You got to draft somebody. This draft is not really talented like with these edge rushers like you want. A lot of people like Xavier Collins from Tulsa. And I've actually watched some footage on him, and I like him a lot too. Will he be available there? But usually if you're Coach Payton and Coach Payton prefers offense over defense, and it's up to him to make the pick, man, Coach Payton going offense. Y'all better remember that. Terrace Marshall Jr. and Etienne are two terrific options, and Sean Payton's going to go offense before he go defense. Just letting you know. Y'all know how it is. All right. What's up, Dedrick? Big ups, bro. He says, what up, Q? I don't want us to move up or any of that. Let's just stay put and draft at whatever pick. And I hear you on that, bro. If you don't do that and you don't find somebody you like, and you should find somebody you like, because if Etienne or whomever, but, if there's a situation where the Saints feel like they need to slide back 3 or 4 picks and get extra picks in the second round, that's an option as well. But they have been, in recent history, proactive in moving up, getting players that they want. I don't see that happening, a lot of movement happening in this draft, because I know that they realize that from a personnel perspective, they have to make all of the draft picks fit for the team, being that, we kind of low on the money in. And I still say the Saints bring in about 4 or 5 guys in free agency that will still help the team out. And then the draft and then undrafted game will accentuate that. That's why I say playoffs. The Saints are a playoff team and not a Super Bowl team yet, because it's going to take time, at least a couple of years, for those young players to adjust to what you're doing and be able to do it. Because remember, over the last several years, it will be 2 people here, 3 people there, 4 people there. You know what I'm saying? Accentuating what you have. This year, that is simply not the case. This year, you got a big slough of people leaving, and you bring in a slough of people. When you have that much personnel movement, that it needs time for those new people that's coming in to sink into what you're doing. So Super Bowl might be a little bit too much right now. We'll see, because a lot of moves still could be made to do that. You know, what happens with Deshaun Watson? That's still up for the next 30 days. Do the Bears get him? Do Carolina get him? What happens there? What happens with Russell Wilson? Does he leave with Sam Darnold? Any quarterbacks go anywhere in the trade value quarterback market? Do any of those guys go anywhere? So there's still some question marks that's left out there. We'll see. The Saints sign Winston and Taysom. Does that mean that they're not interested in Russell Wilson if he becomes available? Just questions that all will be answered eventually. All right, going to Southfield 79 season, bro. I don't think so, bro. I still say they win 10 games. This is a tough team. I don't see them getting far in the playoffs built constructively, but I do say a playoff berth. Seabrook Fish and Sinkers. What's up, fam? Say, what's up, everyone? Who that? Just checking in. Good to see you. Appreciate you chiming in, bro. Appreciate you. Pelicans notice, say, I don't know why Cincinnati's trying to steal our swag. They can't even offer us a bowl of gumbo. I don't know what they're eating up down. I don't want to know. You can keep all that up there. Dedrick, thank you, Dedrick, for that. Yeah, I appreciate you on that, Dedrick. Much love. All right. Latasha says, what about Tutu Atwell, Q? Not bad player, not bad player. We're going to go into the draft. We're going to break some more people down, Latasha, because I know you like going into the draft. We're going to do a draft show coming up this week in which I'm going to lay out all the family members. I'm still doing my draft research right now. I'm down to I'm doing my linebackers now, and it's not terribly deep at the linebacker position, but I did the wide receivers. We did the defensive backs. You know, you're looking at those guys. You know, so I mean, I'm gonna have a draft breakdown show where I talk about some of my favorites. I'm probably going to invite a few people to come on and talk about theirs as well. So we'll get it covered, and I appreciate you breaking that down. But they got a lot of players, man, too, that Suns, like, especially in the secondary. A lot of people were former NFL players, and their children are like corner, defensive backs. A lot of them. It's really interesting. J.C. Horn and Ashanti Samuel Boy. Alex Molden, remember former Saint garbage time cornerback from Washington, the Huskies, Washington State. I want to say, wasn't it Washington State? His son is in the draft. I think it's Elijah Molden is his name. He's in the draft, and he's a lot better than his daddy was in college. But we'll see if I hope we don't pick him up. One Molden is enough. But yeah, we're gonna do a draft show sooner or later as well. So Jay Hunterberg said, yeah, I'll slide back this year if given a chance. Roy says Peyton prefers to shop at Goodwill. Dedrick says we got to draft defense in this draft, period. I hear you, bro. Tyree said I want to see Florida State Jameis. All right. Yep. It's going to be a battle there. All right. KB says, yeah, Drew was point shade. He looked terrible in the playoffs. So, I mean, if anything diminishes him a bit, it's his performances in the playoffs were not Hall of Fame level. Not even close. Especially of the last several years, the last 4 years of playoff games, you go back and listen, those not good play quarterback-wise in the playoffs. Some very bad games by Drew Brees in the playoffs, man. Very bad games. Very, very bad games in the playoffs. Very bad. It diminishes him just a bit. He's still a Hall of Famer, but boy, he looked terrible in these last 4 years of playoff games, man. And it wasn't just Drew. It was the team in period, man. The play calling didn't look up to snuff, and you can't blame. And then we were at home and we still losing games. I mean, it was a mess, man. Dedrick said, I want us to draft a linebacker, whoever's available at 28. What y'all think? Linebacker could be a point depending on who there. I say, we'll see. Jabril Cox, Lee Wood said a lot of people like Jabril. I like Jabril Cox. Somebody told me he was going in the second or third round, which would be interesting because the thing on Jabril is that they calling him a linebacker, but if you astute enough, you can move him at safety. But he fits the mold of a Devin White, and guys like the one and the brother from Atlanta, the former Atlanta, he fits that mold where he's like a safety linebacker. He's a linebacker hitter, hits like a linebacker, but has the speed of a safety that can play all up around in there. It's like Thomas Davis was when he came out of University of Georgia for the Carolina Panthers. He was a safety. They converted him to a linebacker, and that was the greatest thing because he would cover so much ground. He was so intelligent, and he could cover so much ground. And you've seen Tampa Bay's guys do that, And the Saints need to mimic that to a degree, which we have DeMario, we had Quine playing well, but you got to continue to improve upon the intelligence and the athleticism of your linebacking core. Because what if DeMario gets hurt? Then what you do? If DeMario's, we've been fortunate that we didn't lose Cam or DeMario or take hits with none of those guys, and they've been playing the bulk of the way. But what if our luck runs out? God forbid. Who do we have that could step in while DeMario's missing some time? Or who we going to get if Zach's not up to par at the other linebacker position? What are you going to do if he doesn't step up? You got Quine. Let's say you sign Quine Alexander. What if Quine gets hurt again? Where did you see what I'm saying? So sooner or later, we're going to have to address the linebacker position anyway, aren't we? We'll see. We'll see. Thank you for that, Dedrick. Damian Green says, what's up, Damian? He says, first time peeping out your show, been hearing good things about you from watching the State of the Saints podcast. All right, yeah, my dog TJ. All right, appreciate you being here, Damian. Much love to you. Who that to you? Well, and State of the Saints, that's my dog TJ. Good dude, man. Much love to my brother. He was on the show. When was TJ on? I don't know. I do so many shows. I think TJ was on our last Saturday show. Not this Saturday, but about a week ago, he was on a Saturday show. He popped up here. Good dude, man. Always like having him on. All right, let's keep going. D's Nuts. How now that we've signed Winston, I see us sending him three first to Seattle for Wilson. What do you think? I don't know if we do that. Send 3 firsts because the Saints not as desperate to Atlanta because we do have some stability, even though it's in the 1-year form of Taysom and Jameis. It does lessen us to the degree to go after Russell, being that the Saints have addressed the position. They feel confident enough to go into the training camp with the 2 guys there, and if they draft a quarterback or add a 3rd guy, who knows? We'll see. I know at some point the Saints got to bring a young quarterback in the mix. You still got Trevor Siemian as a guy on the practice squad as a veteran. So the Saints more likely probably will add another young quarterback, whether it be in the draft or undrafted. I like Sam Ehlinger out of Texas. Latasha likes Kelly Mond with them stupid ass shoulder pads from Texas A&M. So there are a couple, Jamie is Newman is another dude that people like. So there's some guys that we've scouted that are there. I don't know if we take them with the 1st round pick. We'll see, man. This is an unusual year. Might be setting up for unusual results as well. So we'll see how that shakes. All right. Let's see. Pelican say, our family, I think it's one of those 2 running backs is there. The Saints need to draft them. We need another home run hitter like Pierre Thomas and Reggie Bush. Yeah, they have some, Najee Harris is there. ETN is another dude I keep talking up. Sooner or later, we're going to land on him. I'm telling you, we might get the hold to him, but we'll see how it shakes, man. We'll see. All right, KB says, sorry, but I'm only 3 Saints podcast I listen to. I can't take the. Judge says, gotcha, but it wouldn't make sense to draft a running back if Peyton not going to commit to a running game. He will, bro. See, and that's the thing, Dedrick, that a lot that will change this year going into Peyton into this year is the fact that you got to look at it like this. You got Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill as your quarterback. If anything, if history is a teacher of anything, Sean Payton will run the ball with an inexperienced quarterback there. He will run the ball. He did it with Teddy Bridgewater. When he was there, he gave you a running game. When Taysom was there last year in those games, he gave you a running game. Remember them couple of 100-yard rushing games, 200-yard performance, all that kind of stuff? He will give you the rushing attack. And the fact that the renewed confidence from last year when Coach Payton broke all the franchise records with the rushing attack that year, multiple games with 200-yard rushing performances, was excellent. He had that 7 touchdown rushing performance on Christmas against the Vikings. So, I mean, Coach Payton has a renewed confidence in a running attack, and that's a plus because when you have either Jameis or Taysom at the quarterback position, you're going to need that running game to help your quarterback out. So, I mean, I have faith that Coach Payton will commit to and continue to run that football. He will. I promise you that much. Latasha, I like mine because that arm reminds me of Mahomes. Yeah, he does have a very unique style of throwing as well. Very interesting, but them stupid ass shoulder pads. I mean, something about them stupid ass shoulder pads that throw me off about him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is. It's it just look. I don't know. It just throws me off, man. It's crazy. Hunt Barry says ETN is our homegrown product. I know, bro. ETN and Kamara, man, or man. Joanne Lee says the only quarterback I like in this draft is Wilson. Next level, Pat Mahomes. I hear you, bro. A lot of people like Wilson out of BYU. I don't think he's better than Justin Fields, in my opinion, from watching the tape. I watched the kid play at BYU. I just don't, and people revealed to me that Wilson got that paper, that his family got paper. So that will show why you would probably get up there. But I don't see him better as Fields, and I don't understand why they doing that. But even some of the draft people said that. Said, I don't know why Wilson is it, because they paying him to put him up there. They're paying him to stick him way up there past Justin Fields. Fields is better than Wilson in my book. I'm just going to keep it real. He's bigger. He's more athletic. He come from more of an accomplished school than he did. You know, if you want to talk about sample size servers, that's a whole nother thing. But in my opinion, from watching the film on both those quarterbacks, I favor Justin Fields more than the kid out of BYU. But, you know, it wouldn't be a bad pickup, man. We'll see. All right, that's it. But I forget to run the ball in the playoffs, though, Q. Drew throwing INTs and still. That's true. That's on Coach Payton, too. Coach Payton is a guy, you know, he gave it to Drew Brees and to a fault. He trusted him to a fault. Drew did a lot of great stuff for Coach Payton, and Coach Payton would give him that leverage, you know, and ultimately it helped a lot. Sometimes it didn't help. In the playoffs, we should have been committing to the run a little bit more to kind of balance things out, but he let Drew have it because that was the relationship that him and Drew had. But now that Drew's gone, then you have to see that Coach Payton will then lean on that running attack. That running attack really woke up bells in Coach Payton's head. Let me tell you something. He's going to need it this upcoming year. You really are. Latasha says, Q, you act like Winston ain't fast. No, I'm not saying he's not fast. I mean, he gets out of trouble. He get out of trouble when he needs to. You know, he all right. You know, he can know how to scramble and get out of trouble when he needs to. He ain't tearing it up. He ain't no track star, but he can move to get out of trouble. Derek Hennessy. What's up, Derek? Who that to your fam? Good to see you in there. All right. Latasha said, Fields reminds me of Cam Newton. To a degree, he does have Cam game out of Auburn. I remember that. He's a bigger, more accurate version. But I think what people are attaching to him is the stigma of the Ohio State quarterback that they don't do relatively well at the next level. Well, Justin Fields is a separate dude, man. He's a separate dude altogether. So, I mean, I think, you know, the kid out of that got drafted in the first round for the Washington football team, he failed there a couple of years. End up as a backup to Roethlisberger. He'll be back because that kid's good too. I think they stuck him in there a little too early. But Fields is something special, man, and people will see eventually. Damien says, since the Saints signed Winston now, what should we go with our first round pick? Kind of hard to determine that, bro. If the number one need, in my opinion, right now is the cornerback position. Right now, you lost Jack Rabbit. You know, so you got Laddie Daddy there. You don't have a number two. And then, of course, you got Chauncey going at the nickel position. So I say you need a cornerback. So cornerback to me is the number one position right now. And then, of course, I would then go to defensive end. You lost Trey Hendrickson. You have a lot of unproven people at the defensive end. Yes, I'm talking about Davenport. Hadn't given you a full season. Cam is proven, but he's getting older. He had 5 sacks last year and an off year. Davenport hadn't given you a full season yet. Question marks there. Carl Granderson with 5 sacks last year, but still very much unproven. So I still say we need depth there at the edge rusher position. And then after that, you look at a tight end, backup tight end to Adam Troutman, a veteran tight end that can come in and help out, because that's going to be a very important position, even though perhaps the Saints can, as a third tight end option, convert Jawan Johnson to a tight end, which would be smart. But ultimately, you know, those are the positions. And then some of these positions can be adjusted to the draft. But number one in my book is cornerback and defensive end. Those are 1 and 2 in my book. Thanks for asking that, Dame. I appreciate it. Who that? All right. Who else we got here, man? So for more, I'm going to Dirk out. Let's see. Huntsberry said Winston fast because he's scared. Latasha says, Huntsberry, did you not see he online in Tampa Bay? Winston ran like Forsett every play. He can get out. He can take off and when he wants to. He scrambled. Jameis can take off when he wants to. I've seen it happen. All right. It says, Q, how about we draft Forrest Gump? Forrest Gump. That kid's fast. Damon says, all right, okay, thank you. Constant Flow says Winston lost a lot of weight as well. He says BA had him gain, he said absorbed 7-step drops, should help with his athleticism. Yeah, he was absolutely ridiculous, in terms of his conditioning. He was the best I've ever seen Jameis Winston, best shape I ever seen him. Was that, so I mean, we'll see, man. So we'll see. Some of the moves have been sad, family. Jameis Winston 1-year deal to compete with Taysom, who got signed a deal the year prior. So your quarterback position is shaping up. We still got questions in the rest of the team moving forward. We at the cusp of free agency. A couple days from now, the Saints have to be officially in the black as far as the accounting goes. So we'll see how it all shapes. All very exciting and great news as well. Thank you, Damon. Appreciate you for joining the Great Saint Think Tank, brother. Appreciate the subscribe. Thank you, sir. All right. And also, as to go along with Damon, if anybody hadn't subscribed that's listening to the Great Saint Think Tank, please smash upon the subscribe button. Also hit the like button as well. It helps out the show exponentially as well. So with that being said, I'm going to dirk out on that. And I just like to thank all of you guys that's sticking up with me at 2 o'clock in the morning talking about the Saints. See, y'all are diehards, we diehards, and I appreciate y'all being here. And I had to be able to, my schedule for today was a bit thrown off, but I did want to do a show. I know it's kind of late. I fired it up at 11, something or whatever it was. But I still wanted to speak to the Great Saint Think Tank, holler at the Black and Gold family members, and give some love to the Great Saint Think Tank and talk about this Jameis thing as well. So with that being said, Tuesday's show, if there is any emergencies that pop up, I will be in the building. But usually Tuesdays is for our Patreon. So if you're not a Patreon member, feel free to hit the join the YouTube platform, become a member on YouTube, or join our Patreon. Those links in the description section. So you can be a part of our Tuesday show where we go all in on Saint Talk. It's a smaller form, a little bit more personable, but it's all good. Who that to you, King Logic? Big ups to you, fam. Thank you for being here as well. So with that being said, feel free to check out the merch. Remember, the merch links are in the description section below. Patreon, all that's in the links. It helps out the platform as well. And for a programming note for tomorrow, we talked about the Patreon TSC Q&A live show. If you join that as a YouTube member, you get a part of that, 40 plus shows. And if you join the Patreon, you get the access to the TSC Q&A, 40 plus shows, and the On Q with Big Q, which is a news show that we do. We have over a dozen of those. We keep it real on that, talk about that real deal. And you can join that. The link's in the description section below. Also tomorrow for our Pelican fans. If you got Pelican people out here that are fans of the Pelicans, we have a show called the Pelican Post Game Report. It'll be on tomorrow. We'll be recapping the Pelicans matchup tomorrow as well. So we'll be doing that on all that tomorrow on our programming for tomorrow. So with that, or actually today, because it's actually 1 o'clock in the morning. So today, Tuesday. So with that being said, I'd like to thank all y'all for chiming in. Much love to y'all. Y'all have a blessed day today, and I'm going to see y'all later on. Who that to you, and I'm out.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like Q always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma.